Welcome back to the Spector Creative channel, where we talk about the toy industry. And today I want to talk about the lesser of two evils. And the reason for this is, well, we're all experiencing empty pegs right now in the action figure aisle. Okay, I mean, maybe not as empty as this Walmart. Okay, I cheated. This Walmart was doing a reset when I took this picture. But, you get the point. It's more like this, where you're seeing product on shelf, but there are pegs of specific SKUs that are just not there. And the big question is, why don't retailers, why don't toy manufacturers just ship more product so that there's always product sitting on the shelf? Well, there's an answer for that, and that's what we're going to go through real quick. So the idea is, and the argument that comes up is there's money on the table. That if you have empty pegs, you're leaving potential sales and you could be hitting or basically overachieving your sales goal, right? Surpassing it. So my name is Scott Neitlich. I've been in the toy industry for 25 years, but I'm also a collector. And that's the whole point of this channel, is I'm trying to break down these things that confuse us and try to explain the rationale. So why are we seeing empty pegs at retail? Well, every peg has a job to do. And the job of every single peg at retail is to sell one unit per week. And this is not just in the toy aisle. This is throughout an entire big box store. This doesn't apply to mom and pop shops. This does not apply to tire stores. This applies to your big box Walmarts, Targets, Meijers, that kind of thing. And it doesn't matter who's buying this product, whether it's a parent, an adult collector, somebody who is evil and is going to resell the product on eBay, or even a bot. The point is, if the sale goes through and the pegs do their duty and move one unit per week, it's seen as a victory and it's seen as a sales goal achieved. All right, so with that as kind of background, what is it about the adult collector product that doesn't work for this system? Well, action figures come in case assortments. In the case of Marvel Legends, it's an assortment of 8. So if there's 8 figures, that means 1 per week. How many weeks is that? You do the math. Guess what? It's 8. All right, so if you have 8 figures arriving and they're supposed to last on pegs for 8 weeks, if a collector, a scalper, anybody comes along and buys the entire case pack, maybe they want the Build-A-Figure, maybe it's a new wave of figures and you want them for your collection, your personal collection, you buy every single one on the peg. Well, regardless of how they sell, when 8 weeks of sales happen, if they happen in one day because one person comes in on one visit and buys the entire case pack, maybe because they want the Build-A-Figure, maybe because they're going to resell them on eBay, whatever the reason, or if it takes 8 weeks to sell through an entire case pack, it doesn't matter because the peg is responsible for selling 8 units over the course of 8 weeks. If that happens in one day or it happens in 8 weeks, the goal is still achieved. All right, so the natural follow-up question is, well, if you sell through quicker, can't you just replenish quicker? And so, yeah, you've achieved 8 weeks of sales in 1 week, but let's bring out that cart and let's restock it, because now you could get double the sales if you just restocked it the next week. Maybe you could do 16 weeks of sales in 2 days. Well, here's the problem. This is the problem. If you overship product, you risk clogging the pegs, and now they're no longer performing. And if you overship product, you're either going to clog the pegs with too much of the same product because it's not selling, or even worse, the product, because it's not selling, is going to have to be discounted and sold on clearance, which not only hurts the manufacturer and the retailer because they now have to fund this. A lot of times it's the manufacturer cutting a check, but this is going to hurt the brand in total, because no IP owner wants to see their product hanging in the clearance aisle because it says to the consumer, this is cheap, this is an unwanted brand, this is something people are not interested in, and nobody wants their brand to have that. And this can lead to brands failing if they show up in the clearance aisle over and over again. And this is a big reason why companies don't overship product. The reason companies do want their product to be hanging in big box stores and not just online is because product, especially toy product, acts as an advertisement. It's like a giant billboard for a new property. Okay, maybe this isn't the best example of a billboard. What else do we have in our stock footage? Let's just get something else here. Okay, better example. All right. So an Avengers toy hanging at Target or Walmart is advertising for the movie and, more importantly, for the brand. This is why licensors, IP owners, want their product in big box stores. They're never going to pull it from big box stores. Now, you can't predict the future, though. How do you know what movies are going to be a hit, what toy lines are going to be a hit likewise, because they'll follow on the coattails? Well, the only way to handle this is to have one universal program for an entire store, for any department. Having a policy for one department within, like a Walmart supercenter, just the toy department, and then drilling down to one peg within that department. You don't see this in other places like scented candles. If you look at the action figure aisle, there's so many different brands. How in the world is a retailer supposed to know which figures are going to sell out in a day and which ones are going to stay on the peg for 8 weeks? There's literally no formula to predict this. So, leaving money on the table? Yes, absolutely. Are you, not getting sales by not replenishing every peg constantly? Yeah, but Hasbro did $540 million in profit in the U.S. and Canada last year. And with those kind of numbers, Hasbro and Mattel are billion-dollar companies. Are they really concerned about some empty pegs for a few SKUs when most of that money is made in preschool product? This is where the money is coming from. So having a few empty pegs for a few weeks between shipments is kind of like finding a penny on the street. Yeah, you might want to pick it up, but if you're a billion-dollar company, is it worth the time to pick up a penny? Is that really money left on the table? Are you really making that much? The adult action figure market is so tiny. We want to feel cared for and we want to feel loved, and we always say, doesn't, XX company care about us and care about this product? They do, but a few weeks of empty pegs for one product within the thousands that they put out every year is not something, it's not a risk worth taking, because the other side of overshipping is this, and this costs money, and this has to be avoided by all means possible. I hope this clarified. I hope this made a better understanding of why empty pegs happen and why big IP owners want their product at retail. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.